Now, a lot of fools think that the signs are for other people. The signs are for me to interpret. I draw to your attention. Judgment is hope. No. Isaiah 66:1. And go to Isaiah 66:1-6. This is what the Lord says: Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Here's the house you will build for me. Where will my resting place be? Has not my hand made all these things, and so they came into being, declares the Lord? This is the one I esteem, he who is humbled and contrite in spirit, and trembles at my word. But who sacrifices a bull is like one who kills a man, and whoever offers a lamb, like one who breaks a dog's neck. Whoever makes a grain offering is like one who presents pig's blood. Whoever burns memorial incense like one who worships an idol. They have chosen their ways, and their souls delight in their abomination. So I also will choose harsh treatment for them, and will bring upon them what they dread. For when I called, no one answered. When I spoke, no one listened. They did evil in my sight, and chose what displeases me. Hear my word of the Lord, you who tremble at his word. Your brothers who hate you and exclude you because of my name have said, Let the Lord be glorified, that we may see your joy. Yet they will be put to shame. Hear that uproar from the city. Hear the noise from the temple. It is the sound of the Lord, repaying his enemies as they deserve. Okay, I want to go back to Genesis. You know, in the book of Genesis, you hear the stories of Joseph, and he goes to Egypt. And the book, and of course it ends with the death of Jacob. Let's read the Genesis 50:22. The death of Joseph. Joseph stayed in Egypt along with all his father's family. He lived 110 years and saw the third generation of Ephraim's children. Also the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were placed at birth on Joseph's knees. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I am about to die, but God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land to the land he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Joseph made the sons of Israel swear an oath and said, God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from his palace. So Joseph died at the age of 110, and they all embalmed him and placed him in a coffin in Egypt. So, when Joseph died, he was buried like an Egyptian. Okay? Now, why was he buried like an Egyptian? Well, it tells you on Genesis 41:46, Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Okay? So, he was 30 years old. He enters into the service of the Pharaoh. That's when, you know, he brings his family back and tricks them, etc. And you go to Genesis 48:11. Israel said to Joseph, I never expected to see your face again, and now God has allowed me to see your children too. Then Joseph removed them from Israel's knees and bowed down with his face to the ground. And Joseph took both of them, Ephraim on his right toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh on his left toward Israel's right hand, and brought them together. But Israel reached out his right hand and put it on Ephraim's head, though he was the younger, and crossed his arms. He put his left hand on Manasseh's head, even though Manasseh was firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, May the God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day, the angel who has delivered me from all harm, may he bless these boys. May they be called my name, and the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they increase greatly upon the earth. So I then take you to 49:27. Joseph is a fruitful vine. near a spring whose branches climb over a wall. And 49:8, Judah, your brothers will praise you. Your hands will be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons will bow down to you. And I bring you to 49:19. Gad will be attacked by a band of raiders, but he will attack them at their heels. And 21. Naphtali is a doe set free that bears fruitful fawns. So it was Naphtali, Gad, and Judah that are relevant to the Igbos. Okay? And the blessings are told around the tale of Joseph. And of course we get the story of Moses and the Exodus, after Genesis and Exodus, and we get, the consecration, different offerings, different cleansings, different feasts, and we go on to so you had the altar of burnt offerings, ephod, the breastpiece, priestly garments, concentration of priests, atonement, the golden calf, etc., etc. And at this point we get on to Leviticus, where what takes place in Leviticus is the burnt offering, grain offering, fellowship offering, sin offering, burnt offering, sin offering, guilt offering, grain offering, fellowship offerings, eat fat and blood forbidden, ordination of Aaron and his sons, priests begin their ministry, the death of Nadab and Abihu, rules for the priests, oil and bread set before the Lord. Notice it's oil, a blasphemer's stone, Sabbath year, year of Jubilee. So they're talking about the reward for obedience, reward for disobedience, and it goes on to Numbers. They take the census of the tribes: Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, Dan, Asher, Gad, Naphtali. So when they take the census of the different tribes, remember, Manasseh descends from Joseph. Alright? So, then you get the Kohathites, which is a branch of the Levites, the Gershonites. They start numbering the Levite clans very carefully. Remember, they're the ones who carry the Ark of the Covenant and different symbols of the Lord, and they get less of the food as a result. So they're a bunch of angry, irritable, hungry people, but they can see very clearly on an empty stomach. Silver trumpets. Okay, let me read the silver trumpets. We'll end it there. The Lord said to Moses, "Make 2 trumpets of hammered silver, and use them for calling the community together and for having the calves set out. When both are sounded, the whole community is assembled before you at the entrance of the tent meeting. If only one is sounded, the leaders, the heads of the clans of Israel, are to assemble before you. When the trumpet blast is sounded, the tribes camping on the east are to set out. At the sounding of the second blast, the clans camps on the south are to set out. The blast will be the signal for setting out. To gather the assembly below the trumpets, but not when the same signal. The sons of Aaron, the priests, are to blow the trumpets. This is to be a lasting ordinance for you and the generations to come. When you go into battle in your own land against an enemy who is oppressing you, sound a blast on the trumpets. Then you will be remembered by the Lord your God and rescue you from your enemies. Also at your times of rejoicing, your appointed feasts and new moon festivals, you are to sound the trumpets over your burnt offerings and fellowship offerings, and they will be a memorial for you before your God. I am the Lord your God." So then the Israelites leave Sinai, and I'll stop it there.